You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, OCTA Research fellow Guido David. Dr. David, welcome to The Source. Good to see you again. I think you're on mute, sir.
Yeah, good to see you again, Pinky, on a rainy morning.
I know it is quite rainy today, but there are two issues we're going to talk about right now, right at your element. COVID, number one, and Lotto number two, because we're talking about numbers here. First, COVID, 2,117 cases last Sunday, but last Saturday, there were 3,822, which is, I guess, quite a surprise. Why that high number last Saturday, and then a big drop Sunday of about, I don't know, 46%, 48%?
Yeah, roughly, Pinky. I think a lot of the Saturday cases were backlog cases. I can't be sure about that. And that's why it's important for us to be monitoring the numbers and for the Department of Health to be publishing the numbers so we can see if there are backlogs included in the tally on Saturday. But still, we're noticing a continued uptick in the positivity rate in Metro Manila. So we know that the cases are still, or the infections are still increasing in Metro Manila and some other provinces around Metro Manila, like Bulacan, Cavite, and Rizal.
What is the positivity rate right now, sir, in Metro Manila? You said there is an uptick.
It's now at 19.1%, Pinky. And
that's high.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, back in August, it was as high as 17.5%. So during the first peak, it was not as high as what we're seeing now. So 19.1%, it's close to the 20% cutoff for high positivity rate. So, or rather, very high positivity rate. So yeah, there is a bit of a concern here because infections continue to rise. The good news is that hospital utilization remains low at this time, even in Metro Manila.
But isn't the threshold 5%, if I'm not mistaken, the WHO standard?
Yes, Pinky, it is 5%. So 90% is already high, and 20% is considered very high positivity rate.
Are you just talking about Metro Manila or the whole Philippines?
We're talking about Metro Manila. In the other provinces, like in Cebu, in Iloilo, in Davao, cases continue to remain low, and they're actually at low risk. Metro Manila is considered to be moderate risk. But again, as we mentioned, positivity rate continues to increase in Metro Manila.
Any idea why this is happening?
There could be some factors that we could point to, Pinky. One is possibly the resumption of face-to-face classes. Some have even mentioned the optional face mask. It's not clear if these are the reasons because it's only happening in Metro Manila and Calabarzon and parts of Central Luzon. It's not happening nationwide where we're also having face-to-face classes and face masks are also optional. Some mentioned that maybe it's the waning immunity. That's a possibility. We're also seeing a higher mobility now because of the Burr months, more people going out. And it's also possible that there may be a new subvariant that we haven't detected yet, because in other countries they're also monitoring these new subvariants like the BA4.6 and I think the other one's the BF7, which is a new subvariant.
Really? Okay, I haven't heard of that. I think the last thing I saw was a subvariant of a BA.2 point something, but I'm sorry, that escapes me right now. Okay, so that could be, that's a lot of factors though, so still not sure if it's face-to-face or if it's optional mask outdoor policy or really just a combination of all those instituted health protocols in the past weeks or months. How do you foresee cases this October and November? What is your forecast?
Well, we don't have a lot of testing now, Pinky, and we might still see a continued increase in the positivity rate in Metro Manila, especially as we mentioned, it's the Burr months now, and we're not sure again about the factors. So we may see an increase in cases, but it may reach up to 2,000 per day in Metro Manila or so, and maybe almost up to 4,000 nationwide, like what we have seen the past few days. So yeah, but hopefully the cases start to subside soon. And we should like to mention that although face mask is optional, it does not mean that it's not required.
Right.
And in areas where we're seeing an uptick in cases, we would highly recommend the public to continue, practicing caution and adding layers of protection.
So you're saying that you foresee a daily case of 4,000 in October?
Well, that's possible. Yes, that's possible, Pinky. That's for nationwide.
Okay.
But we're, we might not reach those levels. I mean, we already had 3,800 just on Saturday, so it's possible we could reach up to 4,000. But again, these are just possibilities.
Lotto. Let's talk about this. Sabi mo, the talk of the town. 433, in case those watching us don't know, may nanalo po na 433 sa Grand Lotto jackpot nung isang araw. And that amount, I think, is 236 million pesos. I'm not sure if I wrote that right. So maraming nanalo. I'm not even sure. Would you know if this is the first in history, sir?
I don't have the data, Pinky, so I don't monitor it. But it is highly unusual. Just a person winning the 655 Lotto, the chances are 1 out of 29 million. So
wow.
In other words, if I were expecting to win it at least once, I would probably bet about 29 million times in my lifetime. I mean, of course, you could bet multiple. People could bet multiple times. So that's just one person. Now, I was doing the calculations, and even my computer cannot or does not have the CPU power to get the numbers because it's crashing. Yeah, but to get 433 Lotto winners, the probability that I estimate is about 1 out of 10, 10 followed by more than 1,000 zeros.
I'm sorry,
so that's
I don't understand that.
Yeah, okay, so I'll give you an example.
Opo.
So if we're looking at 1 million, or 1,000 has 3 zeros, 1 million has 6 zeros, 1 billion has 9 zeros, if we're counting the zeros, and 1 trillion has 12 zeros. But we're talking about 1,000 zeros. I mean, that's a very large number, or 1 out of that is a very, 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 very small number. How small? A Google has 100 zeros, so this is even higher than a Google. The number of molecules in the universe has 80 zeros, so that's not even comparable to the probability or the odds of having 433 Lotto winners.
You lost me at the zeros and the trillions. And okay, so basically you're saying it's highly unusual, but I guess the question is, posible ho ba ito? Na valid, ha?
Pinky, yes. Wala namang impossible because it can happen. I mean, and some people are pointing to some factors. Because if we look at the winning combination, Pinky, it's actually a mathematical sequence. It's all multiples of 9. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. So some people also find this highly suspicious. It looks like it's an algorithm of some kind. It could be multiples of 8 or 9. Now, in itself, this is not unusual to have a winning sequence like this, because this is as likely as any other combination. So what some people are saying is that maybe more people bet on this sequence because it's something that most people can probably understand
and remember.
Maybe people, Yes.
Opo.
And yeah, you can remember. And, it's like lucky nine. So, just
Yeah.
bet on multiples of nine, 9, 18, 27.
Opo.
So nine has
At syak-
these numbers have some interesting properties. So maybe that makes it a bit more likely to get the winning combination if they did bet on that. But like I said, the probability of, that happening in itself, is very, very small. Maybe even if we factor in the special properties of the winning combination, it's still going to be very small. And Pinky, every time, for example, if you have a casino, you have a PAGCOR, anytime something happens that is not within the realm of expectations of probability, then usually there's going to be an audit or an investigation. So I don't blame that people would want to know if everything's above board. I'm not saying that there's going to be an anomaly. Maybe it can happen. It's possible. So it's not necessarily an anomaly, but there will be an investigation when things don't align with the probabilities.
Yeah. Sabi nga, I think I was reading into this and the PCSO was saying that a lot of the winners, kasi two things to eh, yung multiples of 9, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. But I think in the ticket, parang paslant ata yung pag-circle mo nun kung yun po yung kombinasyon. That's one. And then number two is the dami. Yung dami po na nanalo, 433. And I computed that. And I think they get about 531,177 pesos if my calculator was right and if I did it correctly. No? So there's two things. The multiples of 9 and the 433 winners. Yun siguro kasi talaga yung very unusual or katakataka or surprising to a lot of people.
Yes, Pinky. And I don't blame people who find it unusual or surprising. I myself am surprised about the result. And also surprising, some people have also mentioned, now there are more winners than second place winners. Usually, you might have one winner or two winners, but a lot more people who got maybe 5
Okay.
out of 6
Okay.
numbers correct. So that's part of the surprise there. But I actually feel a bit bad for the winners because they're instead of getting millions, they're only getting 500,000.
Only? I don't feel bad for them at all. 500,000 is 500,000. And then there are, a number of winners as well. Just to be clear about it. So the chances of this happening is 1 to what again?
It's 1 to 3,000 zeros. 1 to 10 followed by 3. Sorry, not 3,000. I meant at least 1,000 zeros. Sorry, 1,000 zeros. And the universe has only 80 zeros in the number of molecules in the whole universe, all these galaxies and stars and everything.
OCTA Research Fellow, Guido David, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pinky. Have a good morning.
You too, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.